This is the new cycle infrastructure, so let's test it. Let's go all the way down this road. I'm going to sit in a medium gear. Technically I could sit at 15 miles an hour, so you know what, I'm going to do that. First of all, they have brought the crossings in, which really does help. Prevents buzz people going straight onto the buzzes. As you can see, people still just turn straight into the cycle infrastructure again. This is nice. It's nice to have the segregated cycle area, sort of where the cars can't really just drive in freely. And you know, there's these barriers, so they will damage the cars if they do. Okay, there's a slow. Ah, that's interesting. Now they're making cyclists slow down, but they're not making cars slow down. And slow for a bike is like 5 miles an hour. I like that they put all these little crossings in. That's something they really did need. It's a shame that Manchester has so many homeless people. It really is a shame, and I wish I could help them all. And I'll be honest, I do give them money and I do give them food. I give them as much as I can. Okay, but looks like the cycle lane is also a garbage can at this point. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Oh, we've got a big grid in the middle of the road. We've actually got a second grid right there, so that should have been sorted. Again, this red stuff is telling the bikes to give way, but it's a cycle lane, but it is a crossing, so it's kind of alright. Although I must say, I could go a lot faster on the road than I could on this. So what I might... No, I'm not. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I may test the road on the way back. So it's quite a nice little cycle infrastructure. Let's keep on going. You know what, so far I am actually quite impressed. I'm not seeing any major flaws, and I say major flaws. There's also little areas where a cyclist could actually pull straight into this, except for where it turns red and behind bus stops. Here looks dangerous because, you know, even if you're being careful, people will run out from behind these poles and behind this bus stop here. And, you know, someone could get injured. And, you know, there's very little there for someone. There's no crossing here. That actually, no, I'm going to stop there. That's bad. That's a tiny little bit of fencing and no crossing. So people coming out of this bus stop are literally just cannon fodder for bikes coming through. Because the bike doesn't see that they need to slow down, and the people don't see that they need to do anything because the people. Right, let's carry on. I've been wanting to review this for quite some time, but obviously my health has said otherwise. Yeah, these little gaps are actually pretty good because, you know, I could actually move out into that road and turn right. Although if I timed it wrong, I'd probably end up leaping over the top of it and falling flat on my face. So, overall, quite a nice infrastructure. It's better than most. I've not seen anything where we disappear on the buzzes yet, although on the original video, people did disappear on the buzzes. It's nice that the cycle lane is actually separate from the path, and as such, it means that I'm not going to be a danger to pedestrians, and pedestrians aren't going to be a danger to me. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. And it seems to go for quite some distance, so we'll... Oh, I like that as well. They've added timers for when the lights go red for pedestrians. Nice little feature. Again, hopefully you're picking all this up on the camera. It's the first time I've used this camera. And I also don't feel like I need to rush off from the lights because, you know, traffic here is separate. But you still get people on the footpath. Even with a dedicated cycle path, you've got people on the footpath on bicycles. Manchester Academy. Right, well, this is a problem. See, if people stand there, they could step out at any point, so I have to slow right down. I would say this trip is definitely slower than it would be if I was on the road. In fact, I'll find out what I'm averaging in a minute. Just because I feel safer with the pedestrians walking across. I'm at about 12 miles an hour, let's say. And I will slow down when I get to things like bus stops. So let's just roll in here. I'm going to speed up just a little bit. You get these three lines, I don't really know what these mean, but they slow you down because they're bumpy and you don't want your bike damaging. Again, there's no crossing directly at the end of that, so that is a little bit more awkward. There hasn't been any buses that have unloaded in front of me yet. It appears that the cycle lane is already full of wood, and these things are not very good for your bike. It's actually quite a long piece of cycle infrastructure. Again, bits of trees. One thing we don't want in there. Now this, I feel safer in here, so I'm quite happy to do 15 mile an hour here. This will be good because I'll be able to see how well the speedometer on the GPS actually picks up, because it's obviously most GPS is slow down and speed up, so you can't always tell. Of course, the taxi's already in the cycle box. Don't know whether he got in there when it was on red or not. Okay, this doesn't feel like a particularly safe area because people could step out at any time. Same with the bus stop. I am actually quite impressed with the length of this now when I change something. Okay, so this next bit we're going to have a little bit of fun. Something I love doing. Paris is really busy cycle, so I'm going to keep right over to the right here because potential for pedestrians, potential for doors. Again, if I had a rear camera right now, I'd be showing you the rear camera. This infrastructure is actually quite a distance. Yeah, I feel more comfortable on the right where the bollards are than I do where the people are, because people are unpredictable and the bollards actually prevent me from really getting doored, but we still get people.
Hey, cameraman!
That's the thing with having a camera on your head, people notice. Again, I feel a bit more comfortable speeding up, but again, we've got to be careful of those people. Because like I said, they are completely unpredictable. Okay, this looks like the cycle infrastructure has now gone back to a standard cycle infrastructure. And of course, I've slowed down the lights. and I've been caught up. I know we're still on a semi off-road infrastructure, you know, off the main roads. I'm going to use this to my advantage. I would say this is the end of the new infrastructure. Check my bag. Maybe a little bit more of it, but I think this is a little older by the looks of the markings on the floor. So now we can get back into the new infrastructure and see how it is the other way around. Yeah, it's still a red light. You're still supposed to stop. So I got ding-donged by someone running a red. Again, what was the point in him doing that? There wasn't any. It was unsafe to me, it was unsafe to him, it was unsafe to traffic. I'm going to slow down just a touch here. Again, because I can't tell what people are going to do. People do seem to be the biggest obstruction on this. Okay, now we've got a car actually in the cycle lane. Cycle lane. So yeah, people don't listen to it, and again, not crossing, but I had to pull my brakes then. And again, people in the cycle lane. And rubbish in the cycle lane. So that side actually wasn't too bad. This side, where most of the restaurants and everything is, seems to be a little bit more awkward. Okay, someone just went under my wheels. I don't know what that was. Again, no people around. I feel safer going a little bit faster. I could get crushed here. If I'm not careful, or people aren't careful. And again, people in the cycle lane pulling the bus. Yeah, they could have stepped back into that cycle lane then. They were actually stepping backwards. Doesn't give you an awful lot of confidence. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't move any further out. Again, the big green cycle box is actually really good. It's makes you feel a lot safer than the standard little cycle boxes. And people are actually taking notice of them because of the bright colours. So that I'm happy with. Again, cycle lanes already worn away in this spot, and people with headphones just don't give a damn. They don't look right, they don't look left. They don't care that it's actually a dedicated cycle lane. Right, again, I feel safer to go at a fair speed here, as in, like, you know, the average speed limit, maybe 18 miles an hour. Again, still feeling safe. Got to be careful of people, but you do normally when you're coming out of junctions. Also got to be careful of bikes, thinking about that. And there's like a double bike entry here, it's a bit of an odd one. These things I kind of do and don't, like you'd have to slow right down to try and get in or out on a bike. Otherwise, again, you're launching your face into the floor. Okay, we got some slow, so I'm going to let go of the... Alright. See, people look and it's really nice. You can let them through. Not all cyclists are using the cycle infrastructure, but they don't have to. It's probably safer for him and he's getting there faster than it is for me. And I've got to watch out for all these pedestrians because apparently cycles are near enough pedestrianised. No, we're not, we're road vehicles. Again, these little stripes, they do slow you down a little bit. You've got to be careful because they kind of merge a few different cycle lanes into one. If I wanted to turn right there, that would have been a little bit awkward, I suppose. Yeah, I could have probably still done it. Again, green, I seem quite happy enough to go quite quickly on the green. Red, I think, is there to slow down. But again, I'd rather be on the road and be going full speed than slowing down, just in case a pedestrian like this decides to walk in front. Fairly solid roads, not that many bumps, some rubble, but overall quite a nice experience. It's definitely better than most. We've still got the grids, which is annoying, but obviously you do need grids. If they were American style grids, it might be better, you know, where they sort of go underneath, like in It, the film, where they kill the guy like and killed everyone. Okay, cycle lane closed, so I'm going to have to merge into traffic. Why close the cycle lane? I don't know. The cycle lane appears to be fine. Because the cycle lane disappears into pedestrians. Okay, so yeah, there's some construction work, which means the cycle lane's already messed up. So quite a lot of infrastructure. Now I'm thinking again, I would be much faster on the road than in the cycle lane. But at the same time, it's quite nice to have your own area. As long as pedestrians actually look and, you know, do what they're supposed to do and not get run over. I like this as well, I can time the lights, something you can't really do when you're on the road, so it's more of a relaxing ride. Again, these bus stops, even with these little barriers, you get kids climbing under barriers. You don't know if you're going to end up running over one. I'd actually rather be fenced in slightly. Option to turn right, that's actually an unusual one, but I quite like that. This is where the arc originally was, and then they closed it down saying, we really need it, and they built all these things and they just don't use it. So it was taken off the homeless people, purely because there were homeless people using it, which is just ridiculous. I think I've got cyclists behind me. Can't quite tell. My neck doesn't turn all the way around. Again, a slow red zone, so I'm going to slow down just in case pedestrians decide to step off that curb, which they could do at any time. Oh, great, great. Yeah, that's great parking. Pushing me out and back in. That's probably the danger, more than anything. If cars park in the cycle lane, if there is any space for a car to park in the cycle lane, cars will park in the cycle lane. And again, look, the cycling light screen. The cyclist is actually in the right, and the car just tried going over him. Up the year because Ubers are quite slow. I can slow down here because I can obviously try and time those lights a little bit. That's not how you cycle. See if anyone else bothers with the lights. And the answer is no. Ubers don't bother with lights either. That seems to be quite a common practice with the Ubers. Make sure I'm not going to get run over it. See, I don't make eye contact with drivers and stuff, but I always try and make sure that they know I'm there. I am dressed in black, but I'm on a black and silver bike. I've got reflectives everywhere, and when it's night time, I have got waterproofs that have got full reflective. It's still black, but it's got full reflective strips. I light up more than someone in yellow. Right, so that is my review of the infrastructure. And I am going to drive into the cycle hub from here, because I'm actually in the sort of the right area. Yeah, I think I can probably get to the cycle hub from here.